The American presidential election, an event that occurs every 4 years, is more than just casting a vote. It's a complex, indirect process with roots deep in the country's history. Our journey begins with the Founding Fathers, visionaries who sought to create a system that would be both representative and resistant to the pitfalls of absolute power. To this end, they established the Electoral College, an assembly of electors who would cast the deciding votes for the nation's highest offices. This indirect method of election was a deliberate design, a means of balancing popular will and informed decision-making. But like any grand experiment, it was not without its challenges. The election of 1800 serves as a stark reminder. In that year, a tie in the Electoral College created a political quagmire that took 36 contentious votes in the House of Representatives to resolve. The fallout from this ordeal led to the 12th Amendment, requiring electors to cast separate votes for president and vice president, a practice that continues to this day. As our nation grew and evolved, so too did the electoral process. Initially, state legislatures were tasked with choosing electors, a method that reflected the early republic's emphasis on state sovereignty. However, over time, this shifted towards popular elections, democratizing the process and giving more power to the people. This evolution of the American presidential election is a testament to our country's commitment to democracy, a process of continuous refinement in pursuit of a more perfect union. It demonstrates our ability to learn from our past and adapt, a quality that has been instrumental in the growth of our nation. So, the stage is set, the rules are laid down, but how does this all play out in a modern election? Before the main showdown, there's a race within the race. It's called the nomination process. This process is a whirlwind of events that ultimately decide who will be the standard bearers for the major political parties in the presidential election. It's like a series of auditions where the candidates showcase their political prowess, charm the party faithful, and prove they have what it takes to be the next commander-in-chief. The first stage is the primary elections. These are state-level voting contests, where party members vote for their preferred presidential candidate. From the snowy landscapes of New Hampshire to the sunny beaches of California, candidates crisscross the country, shaking hands, kissing babies, and delivering speeches in an attempt to win hearts, minds, and votes. The aim here is to rack up as many delegates as possible. Delegates, you see, are the key to securing the nomination. They are party members who pledge to support a specific candidate at the party's national convention. And that brings us to the next stage, the nominating conventions. Held every 4 years, these are grand, spectacle-filled events where the party faithful gather to officially nominate their presidential candidate. It's a moment of high drama, with the roll call of states, the speeches, the balloons, and the confetti. When a candidate secures the majority of delegates, they are declared the party's nominee. But wait, there's more. The nominee then selects a vice presidential running mate. This is a strategic decision often aimed at balancing the ticket. The running mate could be from a different region, have a different area of expertise, or appeal to a different demographic. Together they form the presidential ticket, ready to face the opposing party in the general election. And there you have it. From the primaries to the conventions, through speeches, debates, and handshakes, the nomination process is a grueling test of endurance, strategy, and political skill. It's a journey that takes candidates from being one among many to being the one. With the players selected, the real game is about to begin. The first Tuesday after November 1st, a date etched in every American's calendar, it's time for the general election. Every 4 years, the nation holds its breath as citizens flock to the polls. Not to directly elect the president and vice president, mind you, but to vote for members of the Electoral College. This is an indirect process, one laid down in the U.S. Constitution, and it's how the leader of the free world is chosen. Now, each state is allocated a number of electors equivalent to its delegates in Congress. The way these electors are chosen varies from state to state, with the legislature of each state setting the rules. But over time, states began conducting popular elections to choose their electors, a practice that has become the norm today. Most states operate under what's known as a winner-takes-all system. Simply put, the presidential candidate who garners the most popular votes in a state bags all its electoral college votes. So if a candidate wins the popular vote in California, they would receive all of California's 55 electoral votes. The race to the White House is a sprint to secure at least 270 out of the 538 possible electoral votes. It's a high-stakes game where every vote counts. If no candidate achieves this majority, the decision falls to the House of Representatives to elect the president and the Senate to elect the vice president. But that's a story for another time. Today, it's all about the general election. It's about citizens making their voices heard, casting their votes, and shaping the destiny of their nation. The people have had their say. It's now over to the Electoral College. In the grand finale of the election process, it's the Electoral College that takes center stage. This isn't a traditional college filled with students, but a group of individuals who hold the power to decide who will be the next president and vice president of the United States. These electors are chosen by each state, and their number is equal to the total of its senators and representatives in Congress. Most states operate under a winner-takes-all system, meaning the candidate who wins the popular vote in the state receives all of its electors' votes. The process is indirect. On the first Tuesday after November 1st, citizens cast their votes, not directly for the presidential candidate, but for these members of the Electoral College. These electors then cast their votes for the candidates. The votes of the Electoral College are formally cast on the first Monday after December 12, and it is these votes that determine the presidency. The magic number here is 270. Out of 538 electoral votes, a candidate must secure at least 270 to claim victory. This system ensures that the president has widespread support across the country, not just in areas with high population densities. But what if none of the candidates reach that magic number? Well, in that case, the decision goes to the House of Representatives for the president and to the Senate for the vice president. This indirect process, established in the U.S. Constitution, has been the method of electing presidents and vice presidents since the earliest days of the Republic. It's a system that underlines the federal nature of the United States, where states have a significant role in national decisions. And that's how a president is elected. But what if there's no clear winner? The founders of the Constitution foresaw the possibility of an electoral deadlock. They had a plan. A deadlock in this context means that no presidential candidate receives the majority, that is, at least 270 out of 538 electoral votes. So, what happens when the electoral votes are split, and no candidate can claim the majority? Well, the answer lies in the contingency plan outlined in the Constitution itself. This plan was envisioned by the founders to ensure a smooth transition of power, even in the face of an electoral gridlock. In such an event, the House of Representatives steps into the scene to elect the president. Here's how it works. Each state delegation in the House gets one vote, and they choose among the top 3 contenders. The candidate who secures the majority of these votes, that is, at least 26 out of 50, becomes the president. But what about the vice president, you may ask? Well, the Senate takes on that responsibility. Senators choose the vice president from the top 2 contenders. In this case, each senator has one vote, and the candidate who receives the majority, that is at least 51 votes, is elected as the vice president. This contingency plan highlights the crucial role of the Congress in the American presidential election and is a testament to the robustness of the democratic process. It ensures that even in the face of uncertainty, the gears of government keep turning, and the power transition is orderly and secure. However, it's important to note that this situation is a rarity. The contingency plan has only been activated a couple of times in history, but its existence is a testament to the foresight of the Constitution's framers and the adaptability of the American democracy. With this, the American presidential election, a testament to democracy, concludes only to return in another 4 years.